Hi everyone, I wanted to put together a quick video to talk about one of the problems I was having and one of the solutions that I came up with. It's basically on this compound beveling miter saw, it was blowing dust everywhere, and you can see it on the back wall there. It is just caked in there. It just seemed that whenever I would make a cut, the sawdust would just basically explode. It would go anywhere except for up the chute where it was supposed to. So to kind of demonstrate that, I'm going to make a few cuts here on this little cedar plank, and just watch and see just how much dust goes everywhere. I'll start off with the worthless bag that clips on the front. I mean, I can feel there's some sawdust in there, so it collects some, but I mean, it's by no means acceptable in my standards. So I can clip that on there and watch and see just how much dust actually makes it up into the bag as opposed to everywhere else. All right, here we go. Not very good. It seemed to go everywhere except for up into there. Why don't I hook up the vacuum and we'll compare that. All right, so I'm just going to regular 2.5 inch shop vac connection right up to the top. I mean, this is what they tell you to do. This is what's recommended to cut down the dust. So let's see what it looks like now. Oh, and you know what I'm going to do? Here, why don't I show you? I just sprayed out my dust collection bucket, so you can see it is perfectly clean. So why don't we see just how much gets captured in there using this method. Okay, so let me button this thing up and set the camera back down, and then I'll button this thing up and we'll do another test. Okay, so now we will make 3 more cuts. I'll do full cuts, so I'll actually cut the stock up as opposed to just making little channels in it. Alright, here we go. Man, just goes everywhere. So let's take a look at just how much dust this caught. My guess is not much. Oh no. I mean, it did catch some. So, I mean, it got a little bit there. Let's pour it out. Pour it out right on my bench over here. You know, I'll just bring the camera over. I'll pour it and make a little pile here. That's about all I can get out of there. Alright, so it caught that much. I mean, it's something. I mean, maybe that's, I don't know, half a cut? Maybe a little bit more? I don't know. Not much to it. So my solution to this was to create this thing. This is just made out of particle board, glued together. I mean, it looks like a Frankenstein. These little side clamps hold it onto the table, onto the miter saw table. This kind of pushes up against the back. This is obviously for my vacuum. And you can see that the blade actually runs right down the center. And then these flaps kind of match up to the front. And it basically creates a little dust repository, and it has nowhere to go except for up into the vacuum tube. So why don't I show you how this fits in, and we'll do another test. Oops, my tripod is hitting. So it's a little tricky to get in there, and one of the downfalls is that you can't do mitered cuts because this would impede the movement of the table. But frankly, 99% of my cuts are just straight 90-degree chops, so I'm not too worried about that limitation. So I need to tip it forward to get it in there. and then tip it back, and it kind of clips down in there like so. And it is pretty stable. It's not going anywhere. And you know, if I want even more stability, I can swivel this over and give that a turn, and it really holds it down very tight. But just like that, the blade slides down inside of there, and it's not going to impede the laser's functionality either, because that's able to clear it on the top, and the laser itself shines down this blade channel. So it still works just fine. Let me hook up the vacuum hose and do another few cuts. So for that, all that I had available was even a smaller hose, so it doesn't have quite the suction as the larger one, but it still seems to do just fine. And to block off the top, I made this little guy, just a little plug, and so that sticks in the top hole and keeps any dust from going up in there. So if dust that does make it up in there will fall back down and hopefully back into this little reservoir. So I'm going to pull that out, and we're going to hook up the dust system to this little hose like so, and I'm going to spray out our dust bucket, and then we can start fresh with a clean one and see how it does. So nice and clean, and we will put that back in place. That, and clamping the bucket down there, just like that. Okay, now the only other thing that I thought might help even more is if I just put a little piece of duct tape right over this area here, because this is pretty wide open. So I thought if I just put a little piece of duct tape over that, that would keep even more dust from getting lost up into that cavity. So I'm just peeling off the piece right now, and we'll just kind of slide that up in there, and the blade will cut the little bit of this tape away that it needs to have for clearance. So there, that's on there pretty tight. I'm just going to give the blade a quick little tap, and just like that, it cut a little tiny channel. So I think we're good now. So I am going to make 3 more cuts on that cedar stock with my new dust shroud on there, and then we'll compare the piles. All right, here we go. Okay, so by no stretch of the imagination is it perfect, right? We know that, but is it better? Let's find out. Oh, I actually got pieces of cedar stock in here because it sucked those up. But holy cow, it's better. Let me bring this over and we'll show you on the bench. Okay, so there's our other pile, our first pile. Here is our new one. So those are the pieces of the stock themselves that got sucked up. But look at that. Well, there's still more in there. It's all static clung, but you get the point here. I mean, that is a big pile. Even if you take these pieces of chips out, that is still pretty big. There's another one in there. But yeah, so I mean, if I kind of flatten them out, both out, try to get it the same size. Yeah, they're both about the same thickness there. I mean, I don't know. I would say 300 or 400% better. But it's so difficult to get good dust collection on a miter saw. But I'm pretty pleased with my solution, and thought you guys would get a kick out of that. All right, take it easy. Bye.